On this episode of Just a Tip, we're going to talk about feet stance and width in relation to squat depth. So a while ago, all the way up until just recently, with my squats I used to always stand more or less just shoulder width, and so I used to be sort of like here, and going back and looking through my squat videos in competitions and things like that, I started to notice that I was going a little bit too deep, deeper than required. I was already hitting the depth required for IPF, the legal depth, and I was going even deeper than that. Now, as far as powerlifting is concerned, your goal is to just be able to hit the depth required within the federation that you're in and reverse the weight and get it back up. That's a squat. Now, if you want to talk about bodybuilding and stuff like that, that's a whole different situation in itself. And obviously, you want to get full range of motion. That's optimal, and be able to work with that. But as far as powerlifting is concerned, what you really want, the only thing you want, is to be able to bottom out. So not be able to go any lower, even if you wanted to, after you've just hit the required depth for your federation, and be able to come back out again. That's going to optimize your squat technique and be able to get you to squeeze every little last kilo out of your squat. So I started experimenting with the squat stance width, and the wider you stand, so I went from this stance to like this stance, so like this. And the wider you stand, the higher you will be able to, the shallower your squat basically will become, for a number of reasons. Firstly, the hips will tend to lock out a little bit higher, and also you will tend to lean forward a little bit more, depending on how you're built, right? So this is why you gotta experiment with how you're built and how things work out for you. But for me, standing wider meant that as I go down, usually this is it. This is my bottom out position here. I can't really go any lower than this. And so I want to reverse back out of this position and be able to finish the squat. Whereas when I stand narrower, I can keep going. If I could keep going even lower than this and not feel like I'm bottoming out. I'm bottoming out here at maximal range of motion only because my hamstrings are coming in contact with my calves. So since adjusting the width, I feel like my squat has gotten much better. I can hit depth and be able to rebound out of that bottom position to be able to finish the squat. Because what you want to do is create that. That's the optimal positioning, to be able to actually bottom out and rebound out of that position. Because if you stand narrow and go down and you just try and cut the depth high, so you try and cut here instead of like bottoming out, it's going to be much harder with any movement, with bench press, with squats, with whatever. So you want to create a position where you're actually bottoming out in that position, and you can use that rebound, that stretch reflex, to come back out again. So if you feel like your squats are going too deep, you're losing tension in the hole, you can't stay tight in the hole because you're going too deep, then try widening your stance a little bit and see if that helps you with your squatting comfort and just general squatting quality. Try it out and let us know how it goes.
For example, so when they pick it and they bring it down and they want